Hello and welcome to the show, The Hype Mind. My name is Daniel, and this is
There. What up, everybody?
What Up. And today we're talking about resting, proper, healthy resting. Have you been in that situation before where maybe weekend's coming up and you're like, I'm looking forward to it so I can rest. And then Sunday night rolls around and you're like, I haven't rested yet. I'm not ready to go back to work and do my best.
Is that
Or
where this
like
topic
vacation.
stemmed from for you?
Vacation. Not really. I mean, sort of, kind of, yeah. It's just not feeling rejuvenated. It's not feeling like you rested, even though you might have had an intent to rest. Are you doing it wrong? What should you be doing?
How to
Um,
do it?
yeah, exactly. And to even start maybe prioritizing it. And specifically, what I want to talk about is really rest for the mind. I think it's pretty obvious to rest that have the body rest and what you can do. I mean, you could watch a movie and your body, you're resting your body and just getting sleep, get more sleep, and making that a priority and making sure you get to bed on time and get the sleep that you need. And that's um pretty much a discipline thing of organizing your day where you get everything you need to get done so you get the adequate and right amount of sleep you need.
Well, the difference, you pointing out that there is a difference between the kinds of rest, physically resting and mentally resting, just makes a good point because, like, I can go for a walk or a hike for forever if during it, in my mind's in a state of peace and relaxation, and there's not a lot on my mind, and I'm breathing. I'm like it's almost like meditating.
Right.
Like seriously, it's like my breathing is proper. My mind is relaxed. My It's not full of thoughts. It's not full of distractions. It's
Hmm.
very at peace. It's very calm, and my body, because that's where my mind is. It doesn't really notice my body, and my body just keeps going forward.
Right. Well, there you go. That's a great example because you're hiking and that's physical, right? You're not
Right.
necessarily resting your body, but you find rest in your mind. And so I want to cover throughout this 2 points, but one that you bring up is that to rest your mind can be you have to sometimes be very proactive.
Yeah.
It's something that you do. It's not an intense task that you're doing, but it's light and it's active and it's keeping yourself, I guess, interested but not too stimulating for the brain. Like walking, you're moving, right? You're out and about, you're looking around, it's more active.
And
Another
that's a
example
great
could be focusing on your breath, right? Doing a breath exercise. You're active, you're thinking about it.
that's a great place to start is realizing that when it comes to rest, your body needs rest and your mind needs rest. There's different areas that need rest. And honestly, probably both at the same time. But yeah, just to be able to realize that rest doesn't mean, I mean, if you think about it, when you go to bed at night, you are resting both your body and your mind simultaneously, usually. They're kind of, you might be rolling in your sleep or like having dreams, but more or less, they're both you're stepping away from things.
Right, right, right. But you can also argue that it might not be enough, right? You can't always sleep, you know,
That's kind of what stuff like strength.
voluntarily just go to sleep um and rest that way and be able to, sleep 12 hours one day and be able to sleep 12 hours again. Um and
And
be
when you say
rejuvenated
rest,
from that.
there's something else that comes to mind because when people talk about rest, you might associate the word rejuvenation with it, right? Or recharging, right? If you think of yourself like a battery, you're like, oh, I'm sleeping, I'm recharging, right? It's interesting because from my point of view, you can do things that actually require energy that rejuvenate your body that make you feel rested, which sounds counterintuitive, but like stuff like yoga, where you actually burn a lot of calories doing yoga, is very good for your body, and it's not always exhausting. It's actually it's if you're breathing properly and you're in a good state of mind and you're simply slowly following the moves, it brings energy back to your body, and it rejuvenates it just like rest does. So it's kind of seems counterintuitive, but
Hmm.
it's so I think of
Right,
things
right.
like
I think it's the
breathing work,
activities that aren't too stimulating.
but that is a very people lose weight and calories doing stuff like yoga. But anyway, I'm thinking of exercises like meditating,
Mhm.
um, yoga. What was the other one? Stretching. Right, like, and I'll break a sweat stretching. Like it's a workout sometimes, but it's also very rejuvenating. It
What
also
kind of stretching are you doing? I think I need to get into that.
it's the one where I
Intense.
don't have assistance and I have to hold myself to get the muscle to. Anyway,
The temperatures.
so
It's hot and where you're stretching, who knows? Anyways, yeah. So no,
massages are intense on the body, but they're also a relaxing thing.
uh-huh. Right. No, it's true. It's true. It's true. Um I think another point we should bring up too is that to to rest, you need to make it a priority, and you need to be able to separate your work from resting, to fully rest your mind. If you have a decision that's still on your mind, if you have tasks that you still need to do, separate that from when it's time to work hard, right? Be intentful about it. And then same thing with resting. Rest hard, be intentful about it.
Yeah. So what are your tips for resting? What do you recommend?
It, what you said, was be find things that are proactive for you to do,
Rejuvenating.
that rest and rejuvenating, that rest your that are restful for your mind. Like you could, if you find reading restful for the mind, if you bike, just different activities that aren't too strenuous or too mentally stimulating,
Right. They're
but
a
that
break
are
from the bigger activities. They're not
right, right,
a
right.
complete stop. They're
Mhm.
just a step back from your typical.
Right. And there's one strategy of just being proactive with your resting, and another one is stay away from the things and remove the things that actually make you feel less rested, even though you might be inclined to do that, like, you know, scroll through social media, even watching movies, or just having stimulating the brain in that way. Usually that's not a great way to rest yourself, or rest your mind,
Yeah.
because it's being stimulated in that way. And usually what happens is you have dopamine rushes from that, and so that's
Not a
that's
yeah.
yeah, that's not a great way at all.
Um, well, and I would just say on top of that, you need to take a break, and you need to know how much of a break you need. There's some days where I know I need to catch more sleep than I've been catching. And
Mhm.
sometimes that requires a schedule rearrangement, and sometimes that simply requires me making the time to do something healthy, like take a nap or sleep an extra hour, or go to bed an hour earlier is actually better than sleeping in, to be honest. Um, or to do something that allows me to step away and relax. Like a lot of times I'll go and take a walk before bed. I'll go do like a half-hour walk where
Mhm.
it's just I'm not going anywhere. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm not going, with the purpose of burning calories. I'm just strolling.
Right,
Actually, would be a better word.
right.
Uh,
So it seems like for you, it's more of a I rest when I sense that I need rest, when I see myself being overworked, or uh, just
are you my therapist? No, I'm just kidding.
in need. Right, right. Just is that true? Is it, like I'm saying, it doesn't, you don't have a schedule. It's just I rest when I feel like I need to rest. Is
Well,
that
I mean, everybody has a schedule. Like I go to bed every night, so I have a schedule.
Right.
But like, I guess it does depend on the person, but if I didn't think I needed to rest, then I would never rest.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know I need to rest. And eventually my body will also tell me I need to rest if I don't rest. Um, and and yeah, like you usually know that. You know when you need to rest and you kind of have an idea. Sometimes I think, wow, I've been working 6, 7 um, day work weeks. Or I've been working 5-day work weeks, but the days off, I haven't really been taking off. I've been being proactive in other ways by helping people on the side or by working on something of my own, etc. Where it's like I really didn't take a break. And I'll be like, you know what? I need to take a couple days off, or I need to go and leave the familiar setting I'm in and just step away from things, in a greater way than walking outside of my own house. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what vacations are for, right? A lot of people are like, "Oh, vacations are for fun." Now they're for a break. There's space away from the familiar, so that you can be in a situation that's new. Because what happens, I think, when you're in a situation that you didn't expect and aren't familiar with, is you freeze. You don't do anything, and so that's why vacations can be great, because if you don't know the situation, if you like when I went to the Virgin Islands, um, I didn't know any of the area, and I was inclined to hang out on the ship and not go out and just relax. So I had to like take extra motivation to go out, and I still relaxed when I did go out. But your body in an unfamiliar situation is inclined to freeze, and so it's good to put yourself in that situation so that you're forced into relaxation sometimes, especially if you need a break, because you might be someone who grinds really hard.
Mm-hmm. Right. True. It's personal to to everybody. But
I mean, what we crank out like 20 of these videos a day, so we should be taking a break.
no breaks. Yeah. Yeah. It depends how much you need. If you don't need any breaks, don't take any breaks. No, but seriously.
Oh, well, even if you don't think you need a break, it's probably a good idea to pause. Like they say,
Mhm.
stop and smell the flowers. It's probably a good idea to stop and become conscious of where you are, be in the present and enjoy it for a minute. And that kind of is that kind of is resting. That kind of is taking a break.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I think the mental part is just so important.
yeah.
You have to be able to clear your head, and you have to, yeah. If you have, a lot of people feel like they have big decisions to make, and a strategy that I use is that if I'm if I'm like pondering a decision, I don't want to be pondering that as I'm resting, right? I'm trying to rest and rejuvenate, and that's not going to help if I have a big decision to make. So either make it now, or I say, hey, this is going to wait until tomorrow, right? That's why I'll cut out time of this is when I need to rest, and then after that, when do I need to go back to work? And so I'll plan my day to where I need to rest, but I get all the stuff I need to get done, make all the decisions I need to make, so I'm not questioning things later on, and it's not on my mind. I mean, to go a little bit deeper, it's like even things even things you resent some stuff, or um things are bothering you. It's like take care of those. Take care of those now. Whatever. Forgive if you need to forgive, and do it for the sake of yourself, to get yourself in a restful, peaceful state, so you can actually rest and not just try to rest and be bothered with big decisions or
And
resentment.
and that's a good point and a good strategy, because a lot of times when people think of rest, the first thing that doesn't come to mind is mental rest, right? Because how often do you go on vacation and you think of everything you have to do when you get home? Or how often do you take a day off and the entire day you spend thinking about what the next work week looks like, right? So resting really is also mental. So yeah, that's super big point that you brought up there. And then the strategy of saying, I mean, I think the most important strategy is being able to say this can wait till tomorrow, and meaning that.
Hmm.
That's been, I know it's been helpful for you. It's definitely been helpful for me. There's been decisions where I'm like, it's on my mind. It's on my mind. It's on my mind. It's not even a decision. Maybe it's just something going on, right? And it's on my mind. And when I think about it and I say, you know what, I can think about this tomorrow, boom, it's literally like flipping a light switch. It's insane. You got to try it. Yeah. Did you have any final thoughts before we wrap this up? Any
Nope,
more
that's it.
tips? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a big thing, right? Physical rest, mental rest, both of
Mhm.
them, incorporate both of them. Um, if you don't think you need it, it's probably still a good idea to incorporate it. There's a lot of different ways to go about it, even active ways.
Mhm.
There's also very, what's the other word?
Rejuvenating,
Maybe
recharging.
more rejuvenating, but also stagnant ways of going about it that are still healthy, like sleeping.
Right.
If you're not moving. Um, and yeah,
Yeah.
don't disregard it and don't fail to take it seriously.
Right. Right. And make it a priority. Make time for it.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
guys.
Awesome. Peace.
Thanks for watching. Peace.